Yeah, that was my more. Okay. Hi, Madhav. Can you hear me and see me okay? I think I have my issue with my camera. Okay. Hi, guys. Just want you guys to confirm that you can hear and see me. Welcome all to this session. My name is Harish Marnad. I'll do another round of introduction when others join in. But for you, Madhav, Lata, and Shivanshu, I just wanted to say hi. Um, Feel free to unmute yourself and speak or type in the chat window just to let me know that I am audible and visible on this webinar or the workshop. Hi. Shivanshu, hi, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hi, Shivanshu. Am I audible?
Hi. Yeah, you're audible.
Okay, great. Thank you. So, yeah, so
Yeah, you're visible now.
Shivanshu, you are in Delhi, correct? If I'm not wrong. You're from Delhi, right?
Yeah, I'm from Ghaziabad.
Ghaziabad. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. Great to have you. So Anshika you're also in the group also, I assume, right? You also took
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
yeah, great.
Yes,
Okay,
I'm already there.
very good,
So
very good.
I got to know about you through Anshika.
Yes,
So
okay,
she told me about this marketing thing and all.
okay,
Yes.
great. And what about your clinic status right now,
Uh,
currently?
Actually, I'm going to open a new setup.
Okay,
So yeah, there's inauguration. It's on 24th, most probably this
okay,
24th of August.
sure.
So yeah, I'll be opening it.
24th, which is not too far away. So how is it going in terms of preparation and stuff?
Yeah, okay. Not so good, not so bad.
Yeah,
Actually,
cool.
this lockdown thing,
I
it's
know, it's not easy at all.
yes,
So
yes.
and until now, what were you doing? You were working in somebody else's clinic, or you were in
No, actually, I was working in an academy in Delhi. So I was
Okay,
teaching there, so in consultancies and all. So
okay, okay,
yeah,
great. Okay, and then yeah, great to know about you and have you here. So I hope to share something which is slightly different than what you may have heard. So let's see how that goes. Okay. Um,
yeah. I'm eagerly waiting.
great.
This is a new thing in dentistry.
Awesome. So just let's go around the table. Maddie, can you hear me, or Prashant? Anyone can unmute and just introduce yourself and just let me know where you're from and what is your current
Yes,
state.
sir, I can hear you. Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Great. Maddie, if I'm not wrong, again, you come here from Anshika, right? Anshika, kind of you spoke to her.
Yes, yes,
And,
yes,
okay, great. And your current situation is you're about. I mean, you will be starting a clinic at some point.
yes. Sir. Actually, I'm doing a PG right now from prosthodontics.
Okay.
I'm about to open. I'm planning for opening my clinic as soon as possible.
Okay. Great.
Right now, it's my second year.
Second year.
Yes. I'm planning for opening.
Okay. Fantastic. So it's in couple of years' time. Can we say, is that what you're looking at,
Yes,
or
yes,
okay?
yes, yes.
great. Dr. Prashant, can you hear me? Are you in a position to speak? You have to unmute and speak if you're going to speak, or you can type in the chat window if that is, if you're not in a position to speak, let me know. And also, we are waiting for others to join in. Quite a few of them have to join. Let me see. Okay, so I think we have 3-4 people to join. Okay, so just we'll wait for others to jump in. Lata is someone I know, so she is interested in dentist. She actually works with me as well, so she's here just to try to get. This presentation which I have done is something that I put together over the last few months, but have not shown to my own team. So they're in for a surprise themselves. So let's see how that goes. So just give me 2 minutes, guys. So I see that if you're trying to log in and they're not able to, until everyone joins, I think it makes a little unfair on them to get started. So we have, okay, Anshika joining. So we'll just wait for 3 more folks. I think Amreen and Baumik and probably Kumud, 3 other dentists who may be joining. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so I think we can wait for 2 minutes and we'll get started. I just had a round of introductions. I think Prashant, Anshika joined briefly and he left. I don't know if maybe a technical issue or not. Maybe you can dial him and find out if there's any issue that we can solve so that he can attend for the whole session. Okay, we have Mega joining in, fantastic. I think we can probably get started and as others join in, I think they can listen into what we have to discuss. Probably, I'll see if I can share the recording. That is something that I'm not planning to do right now, but let's see. If a lot of people ask for it, we can do that. Okay, yeah, so I'll share my screen. Let me know if you can see the screen, right? Session starts in few minutes. And the way you can let me know is probably through the chat window if that is comfortable. I'm just going to switch on the chat. And if one of you or few of you just say, yes, I can, yes, so I can see the screen or whatever, so that I feel that, okay, I'm not just talking with not having enough information in front of you. Can you just type in that I can see the screen? Shivanshu, Lata, Anshika, anyone?
Yeah, it is visible. I can see it.
Okay, fantastic.
Is it visible?
Okay, great. So, I will be kind of wanting to make this an interactive session rather than just me blabbering along. So I will ask you to kind of push you to type in the chat box from time to time. Please don't mind. Just help me with your feedback. That would be really awesome. Okay, let's get started. What I'll do is, the way we will do is, I'm not that comfortable with interruptions. So I want you guys to hold back any questions, and maybe from time to time you can type in the chat window, and then I will pause and take those questions from time to time. For that, what I'll do is I will mute all, and then I will prevent you from unmuting. And then I will from time to time unmute, and we can have a quick conversations around specific discussions, okay? So, but the chat window is available. So if you have anything to say, please feel free to let me know. Okay, so what is this all about? Building a dental brand, how to create a dental brand to differentiate yourself, develop patients' trust with technology, achieve faster growth, and build customer loyalty. Okay, that is the big promise, and the focus of this session is how can you go about doing this. Obviously, we can't do all this in very quick time. We have to invest time, effort, and money. But I want to talk about some really good strategies that have developed over the past 1.5 years while interacting with dentists and coming up with new strategies. Okay. Now, how many of you have started or going to start your dental practice in the next 3 months? I have spoken to Shivanshu. He's going to start in another few days. But I think that's, and Maddie obviously is still studying. Bomik is here. Great, Bomik. Thanks being here almost on time. And Bomik, as we know, is already practicing in Ahmedabad. So he's another dentist who was interested in marketing, and he's with us. There are two more. Kumud from Delhi, she is not here, and then Amreen from Jammu. There were other dentists who took the clinic performance test. Both of them haven't started. I mean, Kumud has started. Amreen, Dr. Amreen has not started. But I think a lot of us are in this space of, I don't know if I can call it confusion or not, but essentially COVID has put a lot of question marks in the minds of a dentist to see whether they can start a clinic or not. So you can see this in a way. You have to reset your ideas, strategies as how you can go about growing your clinic. Okay. Now, so I'll start with the problems or challenges, however you want to call it. What are the 3 big challenges that you as a dentist facing today? The first one is compounding competition. So I think a lot of you already know, all of you must have experienced at least, that there are a lot of dentists out there, even for an Indian population, 2.7 lakh as per 2019 numbers. For that is, if you just do a ratio that comes to around 1 dentist to every 5,000 patients or people, that is worse than what WHO recommends, which is 1 to 7,500 people. So there should be 1 dentist for every 7,500 people, but that is not the case in one of the most populous countries here in India. Now, if you add to that an increase of 10% in number of dentists coming out of colleges, this is again from 2019 numbers, 27,000 dentists have come out or coming out from 300 plus dental colleges. That means a 10% increase, which is again going to add more stress into the whole market and increase the competition. And then finally, we have this urban-rural divide where we have a lot more people struggling to actually serve. So dentists don't want to go to rural areas because the return on investment is not high, because you invested so much money in getting the education, and if you go to rural areas, you can't make much out of serving those rural communities. And hence, if you add all of this, the ratio that we just saw, 1:5,000, would be much worse in cities, in metros. And then that means that the competition is much, much higher. Okay. Now, add to the mix. So this is the first challenge. The second challenge is COVID-19, of course, where it has initially, at least in the last few months, got dentistry to a halt. And all of you had to kind of analyze what kind of things that you can do. You had to pause, you had to stop your clinic. And then what has this made is twofold issues for you. One is it has amplified the risk and also diminished the returns, because patients are also unwilling to come to clinic. So you have to, even if you open the clinic, either you will be running on emergencies, like on an emergency basis. You will not be going all out to get as many patients as possible. And second, patients themselves will be are afraid of coming to clinic because the risk of getting COVID-19 is higher in a dental setting. Now, this is the second risk that will persist for the foreseeable future. So you need to look at how can you handle this as a way of risk or issue or a challenge. We'll come to that. The third issue is technology is making the future uncertain. So the 2 ways in which technology is impacting you as a dentist. One is technology is impacting directly, where a lot of new technologies coming in, where you had this robot dentist fitting an implant into patient's mouth without a human intervention. This happened in 2017. So you can argue that a lot of what we do today as dentists can be done by robot in the near future. How soon, we don't know. Now, you can't fight technology, you can't resist it, we can't run away from it. The only way is to adapt and be one of those early adapters in taking on these technology and implementing them in our clinics. If you don't do that, somebody else will, and they will get the benefits of it. So this is one type of impact of technology, which is a direct impact on the kind of work that you do. Okay. The second type of impact is how technology is impacting a local business. So I see dentistry as a local business. Okay. And technology today, digital marketing or branding or social media, personal branding, or whatever you want to call it, all the new strategies that are growing today are indirectly impacting how you run your business. It's no longer about offline marketing. It's no longer purely about word of mouth. You have to have a digital presence, and you have to use the best strategies when coming online. So all of this is impacting, and if you choose not to, and I have seen clinic performance reports where folks have said, I don't have anything in place, but I don't want any help either. I'm fine if they're not taking my help, but as long as they're going to someone they trust for help, they will at least give themselves a chance to fight out the top guys in their locality, the practos, or Practo is a platform, but Cloud Dental, for example. So if you have to fight the big brands, you have to use technology. I mean, there is no other way if you want to survive in the long run. So technology is impacting both in terms of direct impact on the way you work and also on the way you run your business. So these are the three challenges. So as I said, compounding competition, COVID-19 confusion, can we say? And then we also have technology disruption, which is coming in. So I want to know if you can resonate with these challenges. If you do, can you please type yes in the chat box so that I know that I'm in the right direction, so that we all agree on the type of challenges that we are facing right now, and the kind of challenges that we have to deal with going forward. Okay. So thanks for that, Anshika and Megha. So now, what do you need to do now, given that this is what is in store for us? You have to build what I call as tech-driven, powerful dental brand. Okay. Now, I want to take a sidetrack. Okay. I want to take a sidetrack and talk about a similar person or a business that I helped, so that you get an idea of the power of building a brand. I know we're talking about dentists, but there is a lot for us to learn from other businesses as well, and especially when they use technology. So I want to take one case study, totally unrelated to dentistry, but we will draw some lessons from it, which will be of extreme use to us as dentists. I mean, obviously, I'm including us. I'm not a dentist, not a doctor, but I hope you will be okay with that. Now, this is Sri Venkatesh Sharma. He's one of my old clients. He was an astrologer. Okay. Let's look at the challenges he faced when he came on to become my client. He had similar challenges to what a dentist have today. So it was very hard to differentiate for Venkatesh Sharma from other astrologers, because if you look at astrologers, they all do the same thing. It was very hard for him to differentiate. The customers were stingy. I don't know how many of you have faced where now dentists, I mean, at least 3 in 4 dentists say that they have to deal with bargaining, bargaining customers. They say, oh, that dentist charges me this much. Why are you keeping your price high? So, and what Venkatesh Sharma had was a case where customers were coming in and they were either getting his services for free or paying him very little amount or bargaining quite aggressively. And then Venkatesh Sharma had no option but to give in and go for a low price, which he did not want. Now, another issue with astrologers in general, even now, that exists is where people don't trust astrologers as much. I don't know how many of you believe in astrology. So astrologers give a prediction of the future. Sometimes they say you have this many issues in your life. You have to do this kind of pujas and all these prayers and things like that. And sometimes they charge a huge amount of money to get that puja done. And hence, they make a lot of money. And sometimes these pujas don't yield any result. And that is why there's lack of trust. And all of this was bothering Sri Venkatesh Sharma. This was in 2018, I think around mid of 2018. And then that is when I worked with him, build a brand. I started with what I call as Astro Destiny. So I created this brand for him. And then what we did was we created a online store for him, and we put up all the MRPs. So we created a really professionally looking storefront on a product called InstaMojo. It's a freely available tool out there. We created this so that Venkatesh Sharma can showcase that this is where I stand in terms of branding. So branding and marketing, so to extent, is all about communication. How do you portray yourself to the world? And if you don't have anything in place, you are leaving the other person to imagine anything about you, like how big a brand you are, how much the cost could be. So if you don't mention how much price point you may charge someone, they will come with their own idea about how much a root canal will charge. And that is the starting point that they will start bargaining from. And it is up to you as a brand to establish what is your positioning. And this is what we did initially to create his online store with all the MRPs in place. And then we launched his website, very simple one, nothing fancy. But again, all of this helped us position ourselves differently to other astrologers who are not really doing much in terms of online positioning for themselves. Then we redesigned the whole product. This is one of the key takeaways that you will see, that we have to make it harder for our prospect to compare us to others. So one of the things astrologer does is to create what is called as a kundli or horoscope. And everybody comes saying that, can you write a horoscope for me? And that is, again, it's easy to compare. That astrologer is charging me this much for a horoscope. How much do you charge? And that is where we differentiated dramatically. And we said, we don't write horoscopes. We create what is called as astro guides. I mean, that's a new terminology, totally different. So when we say we write astro guides, and astro guides cost you anything between 1,000 to 3,000 rupees, and there is no benchmark for them to compare. So they can't go out to other astrologers and ask, do you write astro guides? They will say, what are you talking about? So one of the key, lesson from branding is to make it harder for your prospect to compare. But we'll come to that in a bit. So this is what we did to dramatically differentiate ourselves from other astrologers. And as we worked on our branding, Sri Venkatesh Sharma got an opportunity to come on TV. So now because of COVID, it has stopped, but every Sunday, it's a local channel in Tumkur, not even in Bangalore, but he was having this TV presence. And again, all of this improves your branding. And that is how he was able to increase the impact. And then finally we launched a 30-day astrologer course, and finally he was able to quit his full-time job. So he was working for another company, and he was doing all of this part-time, and he wanted to quit for 17 long years. And only because of our work of starting on building a brand, it took more than a year. All of this journey, it was not overnight, and that is where he was able to start earning around 50K per month just from online product, like online courses, this astro guide sales, and so on and so forth. And that is what has transpired, right? And what happens when you build a brand is it becomes extremely easy for you to differentiate. At least it is extremely difficult for your prospect to kind of compare you with other similar service providers. It is easy to build trust comparatively. If you don't have a brand, it is difficult. If you have a brand, it becomes easier. Customers tend to bargain less. Okay, so that is a big takeaway that I want you to take from this, like, odd example of astrologer. But I hope you kind of get an idea of what will happen if you start building your own brand around your clinic. Okay, now that is the example. I hope that makes sense. Okay, voice is breaking for Anshika. So thanks, Anshika. Anybody else having any issues with my voice? Is it my internet or is it Anshika's? I want just clarity. Just can you someone like Lata or someone? Okay, it's breaking. Okay, I'll see if I can change my internet. Thanks for that feedback. Just give me 1 second. Okay, what can I do is just changing my internet. I've just changed my internet. Has it helped or hurt my voice? Can you just confirm back if it is sounds okay? Better. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. So now, with that example, let's just quickly look at who is this training for. Again, this is for clinic owners only. Previously, I was doing it for other dentists also, but clinic owners and those who want to start their own clinic. Okay, these are the two set of people this training is for. But just start with my own introduction, just for you to know. I have an organization or a startup called HMBA. It's a personal branding and growth academy with a primary focus to empower professionals and solopreneurs who generally have a single person business to build it around their personal brand. And as a part of this startup, I have also started this new initiative called Dr. Brand Club, through which this workshop is being conducted. And I also have another initiative called Career Fitness Academy, which is what I started 3 months ago, which is aimed at working professionals and how they can brand themselves and get better opportunities and so on. So in terms of my own experience, I have worked with a well-known digital marketer in India called Gopal Krishnan, and through his team, okay, can't hear you. Okay, Mega says I can't hear you. Is voice still an issue? I will not be able to proceed if voice an issue. Can you? Voice is clear. Okay, great. Okay. Anyway, so thanks for that. Okay, no worries. So if the voice is not clear, somebody just types in so that it kind of contradicts the other person. And for Mega, if you still having issues, see if you can log off and come back in, or try to change your internet and see if that works. Okay. So thanks. So as I said, I've been currently working with Gopal Krishnan. I've been associated with him for last 2 years, and we have trained over 1,000 entrepreneurs in training them in building their online and offline businesses using personal branding and digital marketing strategies, especially Facebook ads. That is what Gopal is known for. So if you search for 4-hour Facebook funnel, Gopal is the guy who comes up, and it is his product and services that you would see. And that is Gopal talking in a well-known program called Success Gyan's Digital Marketers Conference. And I've been working with him for the last 2 years, helping over 1,000 plus entrepreneurs. Personally, I'm passionate about human psychology and its application. I quit my professional job. I was working for Infosys and a whole suite of software companies in the UK. I came back here in 2016. Since then, I've been working with different brands, building them. Dentrans, some of you may know, I've been associated with them as well, which is where all this knowledge about dentists came about. So I started working with them, I think at early 2019 onwards. And that is where I was attending their conferences and so on, got all the insights about dentists. And the feedback generally that I get from customers is that I have this knowledge of human psychology. But what is the result? So one of the proudest moments for me is that I participated in a international contest, applied some of these strategies. I was able to win this MacBook Pro, which I'm using today. So just summary of, I'm not trying to brag, but some confidence in to you that what I am going to present is through all these experiences. So I hope you would feel that you're listening to the right person when it comes to branding and marketing. Okay. On that note, let's go to the meat of the program, which is understanding what success depends on when it comes to running a business. Okay, we are halfway through the program. 4:29 is the time right now. So the belief. So let's understand the difference between belief and reality. Okay, belief says. What does belief say? Belief says focus on competence, do your job well, and let your work build your brand. Okay, that is what we probably feel okay with. If I read this out without any context, you will say, "Oh, that sounds okay. That sounds right." Because if we do great work, the work will build our brand. Correct? Um, but let's take an example where that is not the case. So let's consider a driver who runs a Uber car for a living. And if you're going to ask him, let's take two Uber drivers. One is 20 years of experience, has great skills in riding a Uber car. And there's another 5 years or 3 years into taking this job. Let's say what happens, the kind of money that a 20-year experienced driver versus a 3-year experienced driver, there's not much difference, because the skill of the driver is not dictating the reward he gets, because just purely number of rides he rides for a given day, number of services he provides, that is what it dictates the amount of money he gets. So years, skill, experience doesn't matter when it comes to certain businesses, certain industries. And that is what the case here in Ola and Uber, and somewhat is similar to what dentistry right now, because the competition is so high, and the differentiation is so hard for a dentist. So if I'm a dentist who does I give typical services to my clients, and if there's a dentist in the next door who gives similar services, if I'm a new patient, it becomes really hard for me to compare and judge based on the available information if they are similar in nature. We will look at that in a bit. So if you want to really become a big brand, you have to do something unique as a dentist. If you are just a normal dentist doing normal things, it is difficult for you to stand out. We will come to what are the things that you can do, but just to put a spin on things, if you want to do something really unique to be known, here is an example. Most dentists do similar stuff, but if you search for someone, if you type the word singing dentist, this is the guy who comes up. I don't know whether you have seen him or heard of him. Just search, and this guy has huge fan following. He's good in singing. I don't know how many of you are good in singing. So you have to bring something to the table which is unique just for you. And there may be others, but if you are the first to use that uniqueness, go to market and differentiate and get some traction, that is when you stand out. That is when you really start to attract people towards you, start to become a brand. And obviously it's not easy. You can, if you are good in singing, become the singing dentist of India, because this guy is not in India, but I don't know if that is an option for you or not. But I just wanted to throw in this example of how your work can build a brand if you're putting something extremely unique in the process. So this guy sings. I don't know whether he sings when he's doing RCT or not, but his social media posts, if you do search for, you will see that he's good in singing. So he creates a lot of social media posts, but I don't know about his dentistry skills. Okay. Now the reality. So this is just an odd example. So if you want to compare the belief versus reality, so what do you need to do to build a brand if just doing your work really well is not enough? So the answer is you have to take a conscious long-term process which requires you to invest time, effort, and money in following a planned, proven strategy. Okay, that is, I'm not giving you a very clear answer here. Obviously, I'm saying you have to follow a strategy. Okay, but what is the strategy? That is what this session is all about. Okay, now the question is, I think we kind of answered the question, but I want to reiterate the question and I want you to throw in some answers. Why do you want to build a brand? What is, just give me a one-word answer. Just give me one word answer as why you want to build a brand, so that I get a range of answers from all of you. Yeah, throw in some answers. I'm eager to know what you guys think. Why do you want to build a brand? Anyone want to take a guess? Just throw in any answer that you okay. Attract people says Shivanshu. Great. Okay. More patience is Moga. Sorry, Mega. So attract more patience. Two similar answers. Any counter views? To be known by everyone says Anshika. Good. Okay, what is a fundamental reason? Okay, I mean, what is the core of, I mean, okay, obviously I'm giving my perspective. That may be different to you, but okay, these are some of the varied answers, which is good. So what I would say is the core, the most basic, the building block of why you need to build a brand is to build trust. So when there is a brand out there, which is known, that means there is a certain set of people who can trust that entity for something. Okay, if Nike or Google or Facebook, all of those are brands, right? When you hear of them, you know they have delivered some value and you can trust them on something. Trust is the fundamental reason why we want to build a brand, because once the trust is there in place, it becomes easy for us to build relationship, whether it is personal relationship or business relationship. Everything is built on trust. There's this guy called Jordan Harbinger. So if you search for him, he has a 6-minute networking course, which is a free course. And in that he says, we don't mind building or doing business with people we don't like, but we trust, because trust is the fundamental factor. But we generally tend to regret doing business with those who we don't trust, but we end up, we like them. So think of relatives and things like that. We want to get into business with them because we like, but somewhere down the line we can't trust them, and that is where relationships or also businesses fall apart. Okay, so fundamental reason why we want to build a brand is to build trust with our partners, with our prospects primarily, and on that we can build our business and grow it to whatever potential it has. Okay, now, so what can you do for that? So I'll just go to, so what I have put together is what I call as a trust triangle. So you need to build trust based on 4 different factors. When you get all these 4 factors right, that is when you get your trust or your brand building right, because the trust is the fundamental factor that you're focusing on. The first factor is connect. You need to authentically connect to whoever you are communicating with. When you authentically connect with them at a human level, that is when one level of trust builds it. If you cannot connect, they will leave, they will go to someone else, and there is no chance of even trying to build a trust, because the person has already left. So the first element of the trust triangle is connect. You need to connect them authentically at a human level. Second element is to show care with empathy towards your prospects or towards your patients, so that they feel truly, honestly, deep down inside their mind or heart, that this person has my best interest in their mind. Okay. Again, you have to do a lot more than what you currently do. We'll discuss all of that in the second strategy that we talk about. And then finally, what you also need to do is consistency. You have to do a lot of these things consistently to drive home this point that you stand for, caring for them even more than what they think you care for. So that has to be done consistently. Think about all the ads that come on TV. Ads keep running again and again and again. Only after the 10th or 15th or 20th impression, that is when that ad start to make an impression in our minds. And after maybe 50th impression, we start to sing along with that ad. All of what brand is doing there is to keep showing up in front of you consistently, so that it makes an impression. Now, if you think about what is the best toothpaste, Colgate comes to mind because they have done the branding right. Is Colgate the best toothpaste? Maybe, maybe not. But because they have done so much of effort of brand building, it has become synonymous. As soon as you think of toothpaste, you think of Colgate. And sometimes people say, go get a Colgate, even when they're trying to say, get a toothpaste. Or Xerox is another example. You want a copy of a page done, but we say, get a Xerox done, because Xerox is the company, copy is the product that they wanted. So you have to be consistent in front of your prospects and patients again and again, showcasing that you care for them. That is when trust gets built into your brand. And all of this cannot happen without you being competent in what you do. You need to be good at your skills. That is needless to say, if I am talking about personal branding, I need to be good at that. Otherwise, you will not come to me. Same way, you need to be good at your dentistry skills. You should solve your patient's problem in the best way possible for them to come to you again. So that is at the core of the trust triangle, in the middle portion, which is the competence. So these 4 elements have to come together for us to start building our brand based on trust. Okay, I hope it makes sense, right? So any questions at this point, you can type in, I can try to answer them. And we will have conversation at the back end if we have time as well, right? Okay, now, so now we're going to go to 3 specific strategies. Okay, so what are the strategies that we can adapt to build, connect, care, and how to showcase consistency and grow our practice? Right now, growth may not be in your mind, but if you want to grow, I mean, if you want to have fully booked appointments, you need to look at what are the different ways you have to grow. And that is one of the strategies that we will look at. Okay, what are the 3 strategies? The first strategy is, how can you connect? How can you connect authentically with a prospective patient even before you meet and differentiate yourself from others? How can you connect before you meet? Imagine that. Generally, the first impression happens when they come to your clinic and meet you in person. You know, you come across as a lovely dentist who's careful and considerate and all that. But what if the decision is made to come to your clinic happens even before they meet you? So you need to have a strategy to connect with them even before your first meeting. The second strategy is, how can you showcase care? How can you care with empathy consistently, both online and offline, using technology so that you can build unbreakable trust? How can you do that? That is the second strategy I'm going to share. And third secret is, how can you leverage your current advantage as a dentist to create a value first strategy and build your loyal patient base? So these are the 3 strategies. Okay, let's get on to the first strategy, which is connect one for connect. I think that is strategy 1 for connect. Create your most powerful dental brand online by leveraging your most authentic personal brand to connect better with your prospective patients than your competition. So whatever competition is doing today, you have to do it differently, do it better than them. That is when you can give yourself the best chance to make an impression in the minds of your prospect. Okay, now how do you do that? Let's have a look. So we already discussed the biggest challenge of competition, but what does competition bring to the table, which is comparison? Patients compare. When the competition is high, comparison becomes easy because there's so many choice a patient has, so many choices that a patient has, that they can just look around, just pick one and then go with that. And in fact, sometimes the choice is so many that there is what is called as paralysis of choice, because they don't know who to choose. Let's take an example. The 3 clinics, similar in nature, 2 of them have 12 reviews, 1 of them have 48 reviews. One of them, Prakash Dental Clinic, has 12 reviews, but 5-star, all of them are 5 stars. Okay. Dental Diagnostic Center has 48 reviews, has 4.5 rating, and then another one is 4.9 at 12 apiece. Now the question is, who would you choose? I would assume that somebody says, oh, 48 reviews, that is good, that is consistent, I'll go with that. But let's say somebody clicks on that, they see that there is 2 1-star reviews, people say, okay, the clinic looks shabby, I don't want to go there. And that is a 2-year-old review, but still they are sitting, ruining ruining this person's, what is that, brand. And other person says, I want flawless reviews. I'll go with Prakash because he has 5-star reviews. All 12 of them are 5-star reviews. So now it has just come down to number of reviews. If you just play around, just Google My Business, number of reviews. If it's just purely about competing on number of reviews, there's just one dimension to play with. How many reviews do I have versus how many review my competitor has? And that is where you have to change the game so that it is no longer about just one dimension, which is reviews on Google. You have to do a lot more dimensions. You have to create a lot more dimensions. We'll look at what is that. Okay. Now, if you just focus on these, what will happen is you are relying on a lot of luck, because patient is the king there, choosing the right clinic, but you have no control over what a customer writes about you for your clinic, nor what a patient or prospective patient makes up in their mind about you based on a particular review. If a review says the seating arrangement is really bad, is it a big issue or a small issue? For you, it may be a small issue. For a prospective patient, it may be a big issue. So you are letting someone comment about a seating arrangement in a Google review because you don't have any control, and you are letting a prospective patient make a judgment based on that. And at the end of the day, you are losing out on both fronts. And hence, my first theorem, Dr. Brand theorem, there are 3 theorems, I'll talk about that. First theorem is branding your clinic will make it harder for your prospect to compare and easier for them to connect. So it will become harder for your prospective patients to compare you with your other competitors. And it will become easier for them to connect with you as a human being. That is the core of this. If you let a Google My Business run the show, they won't even know, sometimes they won't even know whether they won't even know your gender. They'll just say, okay, there's so many reviews, I'll just go for this clinic, because not every review would have mentioned your name or gender or whatever. So a lot about your personality or your identity is not reflected in your Google My Business. But you need to take control of it, and you need to make it central to your brand identity online. And you have to control the way you showcase about yourself to your prospects so that they feel impressed and then come back to you wanting to take your services. So how do you do that? Let's take further deeper understanding of this. How to make it harder to compare. So basically what you need to do is give more value to your patients, more than other competitors that are out there. So how can you do that? What we need to do is to follow the experts. I don't want to give you advice based on my experience. Let's look at what others are doing right today. So if you want to know what are the most important strategies used by major brands, okay, if you think about this, the answer is everyone, beyond a doubt, is leveraging personal branding. Think of all the big brands out there, Nike or brands in India. They are trying to leverage influencers. You can consider anyone who is well known as an individual, Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan, the big stars, or the one who is influencer in a online space, like an Instagram influencer or a YouTube influencer, like our Anshika. She's becoming a micro or a mini influencer, and even though they may not have many huge fan base, they would have built enough content or knowledge. They would have shared enough knowledge for some people to trust them. And what brands are doing today is leverage personal brands, whether it is personal brands in-house or it is a partnership with another individual who has built a personal brand on social media. They are leveraging, creating partnerships, and that is what, and they're using these personal brands to go to market and sell their products. And that is how these big brands are doing business. Now the question to you is, who is your biggest influencer or who is the biggest influencer you can use for your clinic? Anyone want to take a guess? Who is the biggest influencer that you can use for your clinic for free? Who could that be? Shivanshu, Bhaumik, anyone? Yes. So you are, so Anshika kind of knew it already, I think. So you are the influencer. So see, you already have the authority as an expert in this field. And but what most dentists are not doing is not putting themselves out there in front of prospective patients for them to know you, who you are, build a trust, and then come and connect with you. And that is the biggest mistake. So now, how can you do that? Now, let's how about analyzing all the single person based businesses which are successful? Let's just talk about some of them which I have understood and analyzed. So this is Dan Lok. These are some of them you may know. This is Robin Sharma. All of these are single person businesses. Obviously nothing to do with dentistry, but they have built online businesses around their personal brand. You might have known Tony Robbins. So when I analyzed all of these, 7 key traits came through. The first one is they make the best impression online right away. They showcase really good understanding of the prospect. They're extremely clear in their communication. They're extremely specific when they're communicating. They're super confident in what they do and how they make a difference to their prospects or patients. Whatever they have, whatever the personal brand that is existing online is highly engaging in nature. And finally, when someone comes to their personal brand online, it builds trust extremely fast. Okay, that is what you can see with these examples. At least that is what I could learn. So what you need to do is to emulate them. You need to copy how they do and use it for your own businesses online. So how does this translate? What the current challenges that dentists do is 80% of dentists don't even have a website. So what is the best place to showcase your personal brand? All the examples says that you need to have a website of your own. That not only shows that you are confident and your personal branding can be projected in the best way, it also shows that you are taking your business seriously. But when I go online and check for dentists near me, 8 out of 10 dentists don't have a website. And those who have built it in a corporate styled website, because most templates out there are corporate style website. And you're not a corporate, you're a single person business, and you should create your website like a person building it for themselves, not for a big hospital or something. And that is the mistake that 15% of the people do, or dentists do. And then 4%, so that is almost 99%. 4% of dentists only talk about themselves. Okay, I did this, I did that, I have got these awards, I have achieved, I have gone to Mount Everest, or whatever that may be. They keep talking about themselves. Okay, so while so this personal branding is a vague concept, it's unclear. So hence almost 99% of dentists have not leveraged this, and this is the big opportunity for all of you. And this is why I created what I call as a pro site, not a website. I have created a product called Pro Site. We'll get to know in the end. I'll quickly show you an example. It's a template. What is a Pro Site? Let's try to understand. Pro Site is your most authentic, confident, powerful representation of who you are online as a dentist. Okay, so how do I help you do that? There are 9 different elements. I'm trying to include more. So there are 9 different brand elements that we have to together create for you, and use those elements on your website or Pro Site, as I call it, so that it makes it easier for your prospect to connect with you. So what you need to do is to bring your prospect as quick as possible from platforms which are making your prospect to compare you with other competitors. You have to bring them to your website or Pro Site and make them or build a connect with them using some of these trust elements. Okay, that is when you build the differentiation. So as soon as you can bring them out of Facebook, Google, or wherever that your patients are comparing you to other prospects, once they come to your website, there is nothing to compare because you are, that is purely your product. There is only, they can only get to know about you and nobody else. There is nothing to compare, and that is how you bring differentiation. And if you have the right elements on your pro site, they will feel that this person understands me so well that I don't need to go anywhere else. Okay. And pro site gives you the best chance to connect, as I said, with your audience in the least amount of time. Today online, nobody has time. If you create like 10 pages of different products and services, nobody goes through all those 10 pages. You just need one single page which clearly communicates who you are, what you do, why you do it, what are the different services that you offer, why should I come to you, what other people have to say. Those are the 9 brand elements I spoke about. If you have all of that nicely stacked up one below the other, that is when people can prospective patients can trust you and immediately take the action that you want them to take. And once they have seen who you are online, and what you need to do is to emulate what you promised on your pro site when they come to your clinic. And that is an easier job, because once they block an appointment, online appointment, come to the clinic, the rest of the job is easier because you already know how to interact with a patient, make them feel comfortable and all that. The challenge has been to get someone from their home to book an appointment and then come to your clinic. That is the biggest challenge, because a lot of big players are spending money on ads and so on. There are competitors who are ahead of you in the game. All of those are taking away those patients ahead of you, and hence lesser and lesser patients are coming to your clinic. And using a different strategy, a multi-dimensional strategy, does help immensely in getting those patients coming to you. Now, so you now have a represent. Now that's what I said. So once they book an appointment, you have to represent it well when they meet you in person. As many dentists are not following this, this is the first branding strategy, which is the easiest way for you to create a big differentiation, because having a website is a one-time job. And once you have a decent website which is following the personal branding strategy, that goes a long way in showcasing yourself differently to your competition. So I'll just show you a few examples. Okay, so so before we do this, so I want you to know whether you're excited by this new strategy. If you are, just I want you to type in ready, so that I'll show some examples of what a pro site would look like. It is same as a website, but it will be slightly different. I want to show that as an example. If you are interested, I want you to confirm by saying ready in the chat box. Otherwise, we'll go to the next strategy if you want to move on to the next one. Ready says mega. Okay, great. So even if there is few of you interested, I'll just quickly show you now. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so let me open a browser. Share. Okay, let me bring my browser here. Move this here. Okay, now, so if I go to 1 second, I go to share. Okay, if I search for dentist, so I don't want to show. I mean, obviously you might know that a lot of dentists don't have the clinic. I don't have to show that to you. I'll show you the template that we have. So this is the first template which we have built as an example. It is still work in progress, and this again can be customized as per your needs. So just also load the other one. So I mean, imagine having your photo here as you begin the process. So first thing what we have to do is to showcase ourselves and kind of trying to make a big statement. We'll try to understand what it means, but here, why am I painless dentist? And then there is a description of why I want to be known as a painless dentist, because I care about you so much that I proactively take action to avoid you or prevent you from taking any or getting any gum disease or oral hygiene issues and so on. So basically, you're trying to explain who you are in a confident manner. Okay, and then you have these online appointment systems and all that, which is currently not there. And then you would try to explain. So the why part, which is what is missing in most businesses, like, why am I doing what I'm doing? So the why part is what connects us at a deeper level. If you talk about a story or deeper logic or reason why you do what you do, that is when the patient feels that, okay, this is not a normal dentist, he's doing with a purpose in mind. And I have written what I think could be an answer, but obviously this can be evolved based on your own story, your own experience, and your own expectation of how this can be. But what I've structured is in such a way that as the patient or prospective patient scrolls down, it builds trust. So, why can you trust me? So you have how many consultations, all these numbers are made up, obviously, but based on your numbers, we can have those. And if something is not making sense, we can remove those as well. If you're starting out new and if these numbers are very low, you don't want to have those sections. So we can remove those. And then a lot of patients want to know whether this dentist have something unique which other dentists are not bringing to the table. Okay, so that is when you can bring in, you can talk about having a plan in place. So if the patient comes in, let's say you assess their oral pattern. I'm just made up these names and stuff. Obviously, when we discuss, if you want to take this up, this can be changed. So basically, the first step is to assess the oral pattern. Second step is to protect critical areas of the mouth. Third is to create a personalized plan, whatever that may be, right? I want to showcase to the patient that I have a plan in place for you to come to my clinic, and that plan will be implemented such that you can preserve your oral hygiene. So you have a long-term plan and not a short-term fix, because if you think about all the patients who come to you, they come for a fix. Oh, I have a pain, or I have a gum issue, I have a wisdom tooth problem. All of that is a transactional issue-based visit. But when somebody visits your website, they see that you not only can solve their problems, but also you have a long-term vision or a plan for them. That again differentiates you from your prospects or competitors, sorry. And then where can you start? So here you can say all the services that you can offer can be listed out, which is what most people do anyway, and what other people say about me. So if you look at these headings, all of these are conversational, which is what most websites don't do, because they are corporate style websites. If you look at a typical website, this will be called as testimonials. But here it is more conversational. You're trying to communicate with the prospect, and obviously there is a format in which we can get reviews from your patients, so that it makes a big impression. Okay, and then you can talk about which are the brands you are associated with. If you want to get credibility from other brands that you're working with, and if those brands are bigger brands, then you can have those as well, so that you can get more credibility because of your association with them. And then you have to talk about your personal side as well, not in a big way. They don't want to know how many children you have and all that, but you can still talk about things which are personal to you, maybe some of your hobbies or some of the things in a succinct manner, which shows the human side of you. All of this is not possible when you just have a Google My Business. Think about all these, you can, a patient can scroll through this within 15 minutes or so, which is not possible in Google My Business. And here you can see that, I can get my top 3 reviews here at my will. So I can control the experience of a patient. But when somebody goes to Google My Business, he can click on 1-star reviews, just read all the 1-star or 2-star or 3-star, and choose not to come to your clinic. But here you are in control of how to showcase your personal brand. And then you have online booking and stuff. So I'll show you one more thing, which is what we are trying to implement, is this chat box, which you may have seen in a lot of other places as well. So, but this is unique because chat box gives the opportunity to do multiple things. So here, I don't know whether you can see, here the patient can say, I have an urgent issue. So let me click on that. Uh, there's nobody chatting at the back of it. There are multiple options. This is not yet fine-tuned, but this can be done further. And then let's say I have a severe teeth pain or tooth pain or whatever that has to be, and then you can contact. So here, if it is severe, booking an appointment could be an option, but if we want them to contact, that is another option. So let's look at another workflow. Let's say I want an online consultation. What this does is it gives the slots from your Google Calendar, and you can let them book something, give their email, and then confirm. So that is booked, right? Without they having to go anywhere, and this is more interactive, right? And I think so. Here I can give my name, and I think this should be it. So this is my email, and this will send me a confirmation calendar invite, and it will also book a calendar blocking on your Google Calendar. So that way, in a non intrusive way, nobody is calling you, nobody is having to book write something on a register in your clinic. Nothing has to be done. All of them is interactive. There is the other option, which is more basic, which is available in a lot of other places, which is like make an appointment. So this is opening the same thing. Let me see if I can show you a simpler way of schedule. So this one, this opens up calendar, and the patient can book something and confirm and give some details. And if you want them to give their COVID information and make them take some consent from them, you can pretty much do some of those things here as well, or make them fill a separate form. All of that can be done, which currently probably we may be doing by making them write a consent form and all that. So this is how I would want you to differentiate, because this will give a pro feel about how good your brand is for a patient. Because if they go to somebody else who is doing similar things but may have great reviews, but they may not have a website, they may not have a chat box or all of these things in place, and hence this will help you differentiate really well. Okay, so that is the example. Any questions on that, on this, you can type in the chat box, or I will let you speak if you want. Just give me 1 second. Participant, allow participant to unmute. Anyone wants to ask any questions, or we can move to the next strategy? I'm happy to take any questions if you have. If nothing is there as a question, I can go to the next strategy. Okay, just closing these. Okay, so I would assume that there are no further questions. So I'll just bring up the slide. Okay, so how does it sound, guys? So does it sound like a good thing to have as a website, or any questions? I mean, I just want some opinions from some of you who, I don't know if you have a website already. I guess none of you have a website. I think Kuldeep was another dentist who was supposed to be here. I don't know if he's here or not. He had a website, but I think a lot of you don't have one. But I hope it makes sense in terms of what you have seen. Any questions, you can type in. Now I will move on to the next strategy. Okay. Now, the next question to you is, the next strategy is about care. Okay. How do you use technology and digital marketing to care for your patients by helping them avoid visiting your clinic? Sounds like a strange statement to make, but the question is, how can you make your patients at least create a perception that you're helping them avoid visiting you, and hence build trust. Okay, now if you think about it, you have a strange relationship with your patients or customers. The fact is, the experience that a patient goes through when they visit your clinic is not a pleasant experience, because most treatment has some amount of pain involved, and hence, either because of their fear or wrongly set perception or fear, they want to avoid you. And the fact is, because of it's, maintaining their oral hygiene is not that easy, they cannot avoid you. Okay, um, 1 second, let me bring in the chat box. Okay. Okay, so they cannot avoid you, but they want to avoid you, but they cannot avoid you. So, so when they come to a dentist, and dentist, because dentist on the other hand doesn't know when the next patient is going to come from and how long, when will they come again after their current visit. Um, they try to maximize the profit by, not all dentists, some do the some do this, where they say there are 2 root canals and 3 fillings or whatever, and they do this because of the scarcity mindset they have. And that is when the patient feels that they have to go through a horrible experience. And if they get a doubt, not even a confirmation, if they get a doubt that what you did is probably not needed, that is when that kills the trust. Whatever trust you may have built, that is gone, and the patient may not visit you again. Worse, they may go and write a 1-star review. So you don't want any of these. And hence we come to the second theorem of Dr. Brand, which says branding is a process of creating a perception that you care for your prospects' health more than their money. So this is what you need to do. You have to create the perception that you care for their health more than their money. And that is where you have to, how do you do that? I want to take another totally different example, showcase this difference between scarcity and abundance mindset. Consider autos, for example. Autos are an epitome of commodity. Okay, clinics today, dental clinics, there are so many that it is becoming like a commodity. I want to showcase that with an example. Autos are an epitome of commodity, because it's extremely hard for auto drivers to do charge premium, because a lot of what they do is highly transactional. So they don't know where the next customer is going to come from. They can't expect the same customer to, when the same customer is going to come, they have no clue. So it is just purely a transactional relationship. It is hard to be consistent, because they're always on the move. A clinic is at least stationary in a particular address. Auto is always on the move. They can't be consistently available at a specific place and time. So they can't tell people that I'm here all the time, come and avail my service. So they're always on the move. And finally, it is extremely competitive. It's very, very, very hard to charge a premium. And in this case, if I ask some of you, can I start a service which is totally out of the ordinary, create a brand for myself? Most of you would say, no, it's not possible. Do you agree that it's not possible to build a brand as an auto driver? Can you, or yes or no? Can some of you just tell me, is it possible to build a brand as an auto driver? No. No says Shivanshu, no says Megha. Okay. Okay, great. Okay, 2 answers. I think, I don't know how many of you are here. 8. So 7 of you, I want all of you to participate, please. Okay. That is when I get all the energy from. Otherwise, I feel like I'm talking to myself. Okay, so I have to mute you all. Okay, now, so the answer is no in most cases, but there is one person who has proved us wrong. This is the guy. His name is Anna Dorai. I want to play this quick video for you guys to see for yourself. He's talking in Tamil, but see the subtitles.
கஸ்டமர்ஸ் தான் கடவுள் அப்படின்ற ஒரு காரணத்தினால அவங்க ஒரு 10 minutes 20 minutes 30 minutes தான் என்னோட ஆட்டோவில் ட்ராவல் பண்ணுவாங்க. ஸோ இந்த ட்ராவல் டைமிங்ல அவங்களுக்கு என்ன மாதிரியான விஷயங்கள் கொடுக்கலாம் வித்தியாசமா அப்படின்னு தெரியல. ஒரு 8 நியூஸ் பேப்பர், 35 மேகசின்ஸ், டேப்லெட், ஐபேட், லேப்டாப், டிவி, கான்டெஸ்ட், டோக்கன், இந்த மாதிரி நிறைய விஷயங்கள் கண்டிப்பாக. கஸ்டமர்ஸ் எல்லாருக்குமே செயின் ப்ராப்ளம் இருந்துச்சு. ஸோ அதனால ஸ்வைப்பிங் மிஷின் கொண்டு வரலாம் அப்படின்னு நினைச்சேன். ஸோ இதன் மூலிமா என்னோட ஒரு மணி கூட சின்ன மணி கூட கவர்மெண்ட் போகுது அப்படின்றதுல வந்து நான் ரொம்ப ப்ரௌடாக ஃபீல் பண்ணேன். மந்த்லி ஒரு 9,000 rupees என்னோட கஸ்டமர்ஸ்க்காக ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். ஸோ என்னோட இன்கம் இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆகும் அப்படிங்கிறதுக்காக நான் எல்லாம் பண்ணேன். அவங்கள சாட்டிஸ்ஃபேக்ஷன் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்ற ஒரு காரணத்தினால தான் பண்ணேன். இதன் மூலிமா என்னோட இன்கம் டபுள் ஆயிருக்கு. முன்னாடிலாம் கஸ்டமர்ஸ்க்காக நான் வெயிட் பண்ணிட்டு இருப்பேன். இப்போ கஸ்டமர்ஸ் எனக்காக வெயிட் பண்ணாங்க. டெக்னாலஜி எவ்வளவுதான் பண்ணாலும் ஹியூமன் எலிமெண்ட்டை வந்து யாராலையும் ஜெயிக்க முடியாது. அதனாலதான் என்னோட கஸ்டமர்ஸ் கிட்ட நான் ரொம்ப ஃப்ரெண்ட்லியா இருக்கேன். ஸோ அவங்க எவ்வளவு டென்ஷனோட என் ஆட்டோக்குள்ள ஏறி வந்தா கூட இறங்கும் போது ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா போகணும் அப்படின்றது தான் என்னோட எதிர்பார்ப்பா இருக்கும். நான் 10th பேசும்போது நல்லா கனவுல கூட நினைச்சது கிடையாது. I speak Hindi or English? I speak Hindi. I will try. Okay. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. DK okay भैया brother धन्यवाद thank you Hindi okay.
Okay. So I hope it kind of you were able to hear what you were saying, or was it not that audible? So the key statement I want you to observe there was, previously he was waiting for the customers, and now customers are waiting for him, even though he's an auto driver. I hope you can see the shift in the mindset that, this person was able to give so much value through whatever his services were. It totally changed him into a brand. Now he has given 6 TED Talks as how he can, how we can treat our customers and gods and so on and so forth. So that is the mindset that we have to bring in. Now the question would be, you would say, is how can I do it, right? How can I, as a dentist, build this abundance mindset and care beyond the means to help patients to avoid me as a dentist? Okay. So there are 3 strategies, 3 steps to it. The first one is make the biggest impression in your first meeting. Okay, when a prospective patient comes, make the biggest impression possible. Second, build value first relationship even when you don't meet them. So even when you don't meet them, you might have experienced that in this COVID era, that you have found new ways to give value. So you have to continue doing it. We look at how. Then build trust as a caring dentist and get them to stop looking for other options, other dentists as options. Okay. Now, how do you make the best first impression? That is the first step that we spoke about. How can you make the best first impression for someone who is walking into your clinic for the first time? So here is the radical idea. How about giving them an ebook, an ebook called How to Avoid Your Dentist, or any book, maybe an ebook or a real book. It's a tiny 10-page, 20-page book that you give it to them, which has all the best practices that they can follow. And you tell them, this is the book I want to give you, how to avoid me as a dentist. What would their impression be about you? I am sure all the dentists right now are not doing this, or they may be having some kind of best practice, but when you brand all the knowledge that you give to them already, obviously you're doing all the things to help them stop getting oral issues. But if you do this in a certain way, like this, you create a perception that you care for them more than the money you can make from them. Next, how to add value to your patients even when they have no pain or toothache. That is when you use technology to create emails which go out weekly with oral hygiene tips and tricks. Create daily social media posts every week, every day, which can be scheduled on a weekly basis. And all of this is purely done to educate or appreciate or add value to your prospective patients or patients. Okay, and then what can you do? So let's assume that you're doing consistently. What can you do to make your patients truly loyal to you and not having to go to somebody else? That is when what you can do is create no-brainer annual subscription options for entire family with free quarterly checkups or other perks that can be formulated. So once you can do all this together, what happens is you start building a loyalty base who feel that you are the best dentist who cares for them more than the money that you make from them. You care for them through the tools and technology, and also because you have this loyalty program built in, you know that they're going to come to you and will not go to anybody else. Okay, so that is what you need to do. So as I said, you can create an ebook. Again, we'll come to the time and effort part of it. How can you do all this? And then create consistent tips and tricks, social media posts or emails and so on, to help them maintain their hygiene. In fact, an online course is also another option, because nowadays everybody wants to learn online. If there is a way to create an online course that can be given to your prospects or patients based on their kind of patients that there are in their home, like there is an old age person who is 60 years or above, if there's a teenager, if there is a newborn baby, or if there is a toddler, if there is online courses created for each type of patients and what they need to do, that will also go a long way in making an impression on who you are. Okay, now build trust and make them choose a no pain over big pain by joining your membership plan. So basically, no pain over big pain means if they come once every quarter to get a checkup done, there is a good chance that they will keep their oral health intact, and that is where you will say that if you come for a no pain visit, you will never get a big pain ever in your life, and that is how you become the painless dentist. Okay, that is the big strategy that I had to say. Your patients and his or her family will never think of visiting another dentist again. Okay, so this is the second strategy that I wanted to share with you all. Hope it makes sense. Again, we'll take a quick pause. I want to know if this resonate with you as a strategy, because I mean, if this is all the big idea that I have, obviously implementation is a different ball game. As how can you start writing emails, how can you create social media posts, how can you create courses and so on, is the logistical part. Don't think about the logistical part about how can I do all this. My question to you is, let's say you create all this and have it in place. Will it make a big difference in terms of creating a loyal customer base or patient base for you or not? Type yes in the chat box or loyal in the chat box if you agree that this strategy will create that loyal customer base for you. I just want to know if you disagree, you can say disagree. I want to know your point of view. Whatever be the case, type in the chat box. I want to see all of you tell me that this is indeed possible. Great. Maddie says yes. Megha says loyal. Fantastic. She wants to say she agrees with it. Fantastic. Okay, great. Now, I think that is the two strategies that we have covered. We'll go to the next strategy. This is the question that you'll have in your mind. How can I do all this? We'll come to that at the end. The third strategy is how to use your dental brand to connect with your prospects well before their first symptom and grow your dental practice fast. Okay. Now the question to you is, what do a dentist need to do for fast growth? The answer is fairly simple, which is to have all of your appointments booked. Now this brings us to the third theorem. Dr. Bryant third theorem says branding is a process of building relationship with your prospects even before there is a need arising in them. Okay, so how can you build a relationship with a prospect and bring them to the clinic even before there's a need arising in their mouth, let's say. That is where you have to use your superpower, which your doctor friend doesn't have. You as a dentist have that superpower which your doctor friend doesn't have. What is that? We want to know. The answer is whatever you do, right? You can call it as treatment or treatment. So a doctor has to treat a symptom, but a dentist can treat evidence. Okay, a doctor has to treat a patient based purely on symptom. Okay, maybe there are things which are evident. For example, if I got a pimple or if I got a bruise on my arm or whatever, those are evidences which is okay. That I'm not talking about those. But let's say I have a problem inside my stomach, but I have no symptoms of it. Okay, if there are no symptoms of it, then how can me as a doctor treat that? You cannot treat that because patient will not go to a doctor. Doctor cannot assess or diagnose a problem without a symptom. But you as a dentist as is not having the problem. You just have to make someone open their mouth, and you can see evidences. Even when there is no pain, you will see that there is a tooth which is currently starting to decay. A filling will be really good, and so on and so forth. Maybe a scaling operation is required. Whatever be the case, a patient may not know, patient may not have the symptom, but you can see that, take a snapshot or whatever, show the evidence to the patient and make the treatment. So you have the distinct advantage of treating based on evidence and not on symptom. Obviously, patient come running when there is a symptom, but we are saying for growth, you can use this strategy of treating based on evidence as opposed to treating based on symptom. Okay, so how do you do that? You just have to create more and more evidence. So how do you create more evidence? Make more patients come to you and make them open their mouth. More patients come to you and if you can make them open their mouth, you start creating more and more evidences. And how can you make someone come and open their mouth? Facebook advertising. Okay, now why am I talking about Facebook advertising as opposed to a Google ad? If you think about Google, who will go to Google? Somebody who already has an issue or a concern or a question. Those are the people who go to Google and say, dentist near me, toothache solution, how to go from A to B. All of those people have something in mind, and those are the people going to Google and searching. And that is where you run your Google ads and things like that. That is where you're fulfilling a demand. A person goes to Google with a demand, and you can run your Google ads to fulfill the demand. Facebook, on the other hand, is not a fulfillment platform, but a demand generation platform. Who goes to Facebook wanting to get solution for toothache? Nobody will go to Facebook for solution for toothache. Those who go to Facebook are just to share their stories, read other stories and so on and so forth. And that's where Facebook ad comes in handy. If you have a great Facebook ad with an amazing offer, like, come to my clinic for free, we'll do some checkup or whatever that may be, that when you create a great offer, and if that offer is stuck in between two different stories that they're seeing, that is when your prospect will see that, okay, there is something new, let me go and check it out. This is where that prospect probably did not even have the need in their mind, but because they saw your ad, they will click on that ad, they may come, visit your clinic, open their mouth, and that is your opportunity to create your evidence. I hope it makes sense. Now, what you do here is create an amazing offer. Second is to run an optimized Facebook ad, create scheduled walk-ins. So that is the third step that you do in your growth strategy. You can certainly use Google ads, you can certainly use other type of ads. Facebook and Instagram ads are essentially demand generation, or your opportunity to create evidence where none exists. Basically, patient doesn't know that there is an evidence. Only when they come to clinic and open their mouth, that is when the evidence is created. And Facebook ads are your best opportunity to create those evidences. Okay, and this is how you run your third growth strategy. And that is a very simple way of saying how can you grow your clinic. Let's say you have 30% of your appointments empty, and you can run a quick Facebook ad to fill those up and stop your Facebook ad. So that is how powerful Facebook ad can be as a solution for you. And that is the third strategy that I wanted to share. As we discussed, the first strategy is all about differentiation, using your pro site and building your personal brand, bringing your personal brand into picture in creating your pro site. Second is building a caring perception in the minds of your prospect by giving them differentiated value in terms of emails and ebooks and so on and so forth. Third one is growing your practice using Facebook ads, using the right kind of strategy to bring them to clinic and create more and more evidences. Does it make sense? Or do you agree with all these strategies? Will definitely help you. If you agree, type yes in the chat box, and that will make me feel good about sharing these strategies with you. And then we'll go on to implementation part, right? Implementation is the harder part, right? And we will talk about how this Dr. Brand Club can help you in this journey. We will quickly see. Okay. So what about cost and effort? Look, let's get this clear. Okay, there are dentists out there think that I have to do all this myself, and there are what I feel is dentists are better placed to focus on dentistry, improve their skills, improve their services. Like for example, if you're giving basic services in your clinic, you can include facial aesthetics and cosmetology as an add-on service. And when somebody comes to your clinic who comes for a root canal, and if he has no hair, that is your opportunity to maximize sale per patient or sale per customer and increase the lifetime value from the patient. So if you have, so all of us have limited time. So you as a dentist, you can do a lot more by giving more services in your clinic rather than focusing on digital marketing and building your brand online. That is where you would go to a digital marketing company and all that. And that is the right strategy. Whether you come to us or go to another digital marketing company, that is immaterial. What is important is you have to choose a partner you can trust and hand over the online branding aspects to them. And that is when you work in tandem as a partner, they will help you build your brand online, and also you can sync up with how you can showcase your brand when somebody visits your clinic. And more importantly, you focus on increasing the ways in which you can serve your existing patients. FAC, improving your current services and so on and so forth is the best way forward. Okay, now with that, we talked about these three. We look at what these three includes and how much does it roughly cost and all that. Okay, this is not like a pitch. This is more like a this is more like a discussion, because what we are currently doing, this is a new initiative called Dr. Brand Club. We want around 25 dentists to work with us in creating all these products. And because of this trust that they have shown in us, we want to give them the best offer possible, which will not be available once we start. Like it's like the pre-launch offer, so to speak. So what does it include? Let's have a look. Brand differentiation. This is where how can you differentiate from your prospects and all that. So the first point, build or recreate your pro site. If you already have a website, we will build or recreate it. The second point is create optimized Google My Business. If you don't have, or if you have to optimize, we will do that for you. Create, optimize your Facebook page. If you have one, or if you don't have, we will create, or if you have one, we'll optimize. We will, all the websites we create will be hack proof. It will be robust. You will never have to lose sleep over the fact that my website will be hacked, or it will be taken down or anything like that. That will be taken care by the technology we have. We will also have what is called as a self-management course for you to manage your homepage, so to speak. So for example, we just seen an example. Let's say I had an example of I am a painless dentist, but let's say you don't agree with it. Once I have delivered the pro site to you, and you want to manage it yourself, you want to have the ability to go and change the text yourself without having to know too much of technology. I want to create a course for you so that you don't come to us for services which is easy for yourself to manage. Like it will take 5-10 minutes. Go and change the text, done deal. So because see, now the website is no longer about a corporate style website, but it is more a personal brand, and personal brands evolve with you as a person. Today you want to showcase one version of you, tomorrow your version changes because you will grow as a person. Your website or personal brand online will also need to grow with you as you grow, right? And that is why that course that we are talking about, Google My Business best practices course, we'll probably create a course or a checklist that will help you follow the best practices for managing your Google My Business. Facebook page best practices course, again, what you need to do, what you should not do, and things like that. Once we create it for you, it's a done deal, but there may be something that you have to do on an ongoing basis, like creating content or things like that. All the best practices will be bundled into a course which you can go through. We'll have some kind of a membership, online membership, which is available for you for lifetime, where we will have discussions and so on and so forth, which is not this Facebook group that you have joined. It is a different membership that we will create. And discounted growth services. So if you want to avail higher level services, this is the first level service, level 1. If you want to avail higher level services, you will get it at discounted price. So this is level 1. Level 2 is brand growth. How can you achieve growth? As we've discussed, the first one is ongoing fortnightly SEO. SEO stands for search engine optimization. If you have a pro site, which is your website, or your Google My Business, which is created, just creating is not enough, because if you have a website, there are 2 billion websites out there. So you need to work on its SEO on an ongoing basis to make sure that it climbs up the search engine ranking in your locality, wherever you are. And same goes for your Google My Business. Whatever best practices that we need to do, it has to be done on an ongoing basis. So what we are promising here is, we will do fortnightly SEO activity for your Google My Business and your pro site twice every month. We will also give you Facebook / Instagram ad course, because see, I don't want to hold back any of the knowledge with us. I want, if you have time, if you want to learn, you be my guest, learn these things, and you can do it yourself. But we will also have 12 monthly Facebook or Instagram ad launch campaigns. So once you join us, you can join for 12 monthly Facebook or Instagram campaign launches. So you can launch with us. Same goes for Google ad course. We will have a course created for you to launch your Google ads. Same again for Google ads, where we'll have 12 monthly Google ad launch campaigns. Finally, and what we'll also do is, we'll also have online booking management training course for your staff, because currently they may be using a register or something. They need to be trained as how to use Google Calendar, how to cancel a booking, how to communicate, all of that. We need to have a course for that, or you will have to take the pain of training them. So in brand growth, we will cover that here. And then finally, brand loyalty. We will have a chatbot the way we showed you, with online booking system integrated. You will have that ebook created by us. We will create that ebook for you, how to avoid your dentist with your own branding. 32 professionally crafted automation ready emails. So emails will go out for 32 weeks, once every week. So if you look at the two lines here, 32 professionally crafted emails, these are hygiene emails. How can your prospects can take care of their hygiene? And the second 20 occasion ready emails would be emails which are related to a festival or an occasion. You are wishing them, and also you are kind of nudging them to book an appointment with you. Like maybe like, Ganesh Chaturthi have just happened yesterday. An email can go out today saying that you may have had a great festival with a lot of sweets. Maybe it's a good time to come and book an appointment. Something like that. Okay, so that way what happens is 32 plus 20 is nearly 52 emails going out. That means you're showing up in front of your prospect 52 times a year, which is once every week. Whether they open that email or not doesn't matter. The fact that your email is showing up in their inbox shows them that you care for their health, right? That is that. And then 25, Facebook or Instagram ready post schedule. So we will schedule your Facebook or Instagram post every month, right? That is what we are working towards. Automated reminders, emails, and SMSs. Once a booking is done, reminders have to go out for your prospects, right? And then so that is something that we are working on. Automated feedback and review requests. So once an appointment is done, can we? So a lot of dentists, what I have understood is they ask for feedback then and there, right? So I had a root canal. Let's say I have a horrible root canal, right? Then you finish the root canal, you ask how was it. I may be a gentleman who don't want to give you a straight answer. I'll say it was okay, and then I want to rush away from your clinic, and then I go home. I am still struggling or whatever, and then next day maybe if I'm aggravated, I may go and write a 1-star review. But what you need to do is not ask for feedback then and there, because they are not in the right frame of mind to give you the feedback just after the treatment. You have to give them some time, and then you have to send some automated reminders either through emails or SMS or through WhatsApp asking for review. And review could be good or bad. Okay, we may make mistakes, and that is same for you. If somebody says your treatment was not good, say they want to give a 3, let's say they'll give a 3 or 4 star out of 10. Then you acknowledge, take a feedback, and try to improve. And those who give 8+, that is the set of people you have to ask if they can write a Google review for you or a Facebook review for you. You should not ask everyone to write a review, because if a person who is aggravated by your treatment, you don't want to be asking them. If you ask them, they will go and write a 1-star review that cannot be wiped away forever. That is, see, I run an Amazon store for chickies. I know the pain of having 1-star reviews. So that is something that we all want to avoid. And hence you want to know who to go to, when to go to them, asking for feedback first. Feedback is the most important part right now. When you ask for feedback, if they have a lot of pent up stress or things that they want to communicate, let's say I had a horrible experience, I want to give 1-star review, but tonight I get an email from you saying that, hey Harish, how did it go? We had a root canal session. Feel honest. Feel free to give your feedback honestly. If there's anything I can improve on, I want to know. Simple email. There's a link. I click on the link. I vomit it out on that feedback form saying that you are so horrible, blah blah blah. Once I vomited, I have nothing in my stomach to go and write a 1-star review for you. So I will not do that. So this feedback is also missing because you're currently not asking for it. If we can automate the whole feedback process, it becomes so easy for you to learn from your mistakes and also identify the right people who can actually contribute to writing great reviews. Okay, so that is the automated feedback and reviews requests. Possible online courses for your patients. So that is on the cards. So we want to hire some really good looking let's say model who will dress up like a dentist maybe, and they will deliver the content on behalf of you. They will say your dentist has made this course just for you. They will not take any credit. They will not give credit to us, Dr. Brand. They will give credit to you who are going to be our customer. They won't call you by name, but we will look at having your branding on the videos so that it feels like you have invested money in creating these courses for yourself, for your patients. Imagine the kind of mindset your patient will see, that this dentist have created courses, emails, feedback system, Facebook posts, all of this in place, while other dentists probably don't have anything in place. That is the level of differentiation you will create. And the final one is, how can you use WhatsApp business for optimization and all that. And then there's so much more which is not there in this list, which we're still working on. And what we want to do is to have a set of dentists work with us closely, where we have certain idea, we have some dentists working with us, but we want varied input from different dentists on various different things, so that the product we create is fit for purpose for every dentist. And that is where we want to create a close group of say around 25 dentists wanting to work with us. And a lot of what I have said is not already in place. We are putting this in place. So you need to trust us, and in in return for this trust, we are decreasing the price, and also we also deliver it over a period of time. Not all of this will be delivered in one shot. Let's say in the month of September, we will create all your pro sites and stuff. Month 2 is all about Facebook ads, if that is what you want. Month 3 would be about brand loyalty and all that. So it will be delivered over time. That will give us time. That will also means that I don't need to ask you for upfront charges and all that. Okay, now coming to the most important part. Do you all want to know the prices, or is this good enough? Shivanshu, Dr. Shivanshu, Maddie, who else is there? Bomik. Okay, great. One yes is fine for me to reveal the price. Okay, the first one, okay, the brand differentiation, which is all about website and Google My Business and all that. That is this, and brand growth and brand loyalty. These are the 3 levels of product. The first one is any guesses? Anyone wants to take a guess? Okay, first thing is I want to build a relationship and not a one-off thing. So I want to not want to give something and run away. I want to build a relationship, and hence the prices are monthly in nature. Anyone want to take a guess with the price? I can't change in the background. Once, I mean, whatever price you say, it doesn't change anything. But I want to see how much value you associate with what I have said so far. Anyone? Just quote some number. How much monthly you are willing to pay for brand differentiation? It's okay, even if nobody wants to take a guess. I'm not going to charge you that much. Okay, 10K. Okay. So this is a monthly price. Okay, so 10K is 10 times more. Okay, so I'm going to start with a very low price of 1K per month for brand differentiation. This means you'll get all those websites and Google My Business and all that created at just 1K per month. So that means around 12K per year. Okay. Now, a logical extension of this brand growth is 3K per month. Again, 30K per, around 36K per year. And brand loyalty is 5K per month, which is around 60K per year. But if you pay upfront, you will get 2 months off as well. Now, these are the 3 different slabs that we have in place for the first 25 dentists only. And I'm not going to ask you for upfront payment or anything like that. I am going to run this workshop every week until we get to 25 dentists, and then I will probably stop selling it and start working on the product development, and then we go to market again. That is the idea, but that is, we will start working with these dentists closely. Whether we go to market or not is secondary, but total attention will be given to these dentists to build these products in place. So what is the benefit for you as an early adapter? So you'll be an early adapter. You'll be in the early adapter program. You'll get your discounted prices. You will be able to call the shots. I mean, not to great extent, because we want to make a generic product, but your feedback will be taken in and will be actively worked on, and you'll get the first mover advantage, because not many out there are implementing these strategies. If you implement, you will get that first mover advantage. Okay. And as I said, this is only available for the first 25 clinic owners. Okay. And there is deadline or anything like that. Whoever comes first, trusting us in this whole product and the concept and the strategy, those are the ones who will be onboarded. Okay. So now I'm open to any questions. So that's the workshop for you guys. Any feedback, questions? This is the time. 49. So we have 10 minutes left before we close the session. How does it sound as a, I mean, any questions? So I had some questions that people usually ask, but first thing is I want to give options to you guys, and if there's anything else that I want to add, I will do that. Okay, great. Great, Megha. Thanks for your awesome feedback. Really appreciate that. Um, but okay, so I mean, if you say good, you don't have to buy. It's okay because it has to fit into your current situation as well. I know that Dr. Maddy still has some way to go in terms of having his setup work. But what I would suggest is, Dr. Maddy, you can still work on having your personal brand built, which is just having your website and all that. While you're working through, you may not need growth and all that because you don't have in a clinic, but you can actually build your online presence through your website. And once you're in a good shape in terms of having your clinic, then you can look at having the other things in place. That's just a suggestion just I thought of, because if you're clear in your mind that you're going to go and have a clinic created, creating an online presence is good, because Google, so let's say if your website is there for 2 years, that is given more value than a website created brand new from a Google perspective. So just having your this brand presence created would be a good starting point.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
No worries, no worries. Okay, great.
Sir, I want to ask one thing. I'm going to start in few days or few months, couple of months.
Okay.
So what? How can I start? How can I start it? By branding it or by?
So the thing is, so as I said, you can get started with website so easily. You can do that. That won't change. Anyways, we are focusing on your personal brand. You can, so Maddy Clinic or something if you want, something like that. I'm just giving an idea. And then where that will be right now, what you can do is, let's say, do you do any consultation of any type at all, or you're doing nothing?
Yes, I do.
If you're doing something, you can still say, you can give a location as where you're available, and create your online presence. You can still create things like Google My Business and everything for the clinic in which you are currently serving. It may not be your clinic, but you're saying that, okay, I am available at this place. And you can start adding value to it in terms of, if you have a loyalty, a set of patients come to you, you can make them write reviews on your Facebook page and Google My Business and all that. And tomorrow when you have your own clinic, you move that asset to that location.
Okay.
So you change the address of that particular Google My Business. So what you then do is, you have a good starting point. You have a handful of reviews, just that you are moved location from A to B.
Okay. So, sir, we have to start from branding. So
Yes.
we have to invest, you have said, for differentiation 1K per month. I have to start from there.
Correct. No. So basically, yeah, that is good enough for now. You don't need the growth part, because you're not going to run Facebook ads or Google ads or anything like that. You are not going to. I mean, you can think around the growth pack where, okay, unless I have a clinic, I don't need it, because whatever you do right now, you will be doing for the other clinic you're working in. So you will get them to come to that clinic. You may want to avoid the loyalty part also, because unless you set up the your clinic in a particular location, you don't need those two. Branding is fine. Facebook page, Google My Business, your WhatsApp business account, and your pro site. All those things is what I would recommend.
Okay. So, sir, I have to once I have gone for this website and personal branding, then we have to do the SEO also, no? Like you have said.
Correct.
So we have to do from the starting or onwards, or we have to wait for SEO.
So I think the SEO for the website which is built will be SEO optimized to a good extent. But what happens is, Google, especially for websites, to be honest, Google wants to see that your website is attracting the right kind of people on an ongoing basis. So we need to add content to the website, like in terms of blog or something, for Google to see that there is value in sending patients to this particular website. So SEO is both optimizing your website for searches and also adding value to your website in an optimized way. For example, 5 common mistakes patients make. Okay, that's an article. Let's say you write that article, put it on your website, and optimize it for search results on your locality. That is one way of increasing the value of the website. That has to be done on an ongoing basis, and that can be argued as whether you want to do it or whether you want to outsource it. But that is something you might have to invest on an ongoing basis.
What about, sir, SEO should be done in a couple of months or a couple of years we have to do it?
No, it is an ongoing thing. Okay, so it is an ongoing thing that you keep doing, because if you stop doing, it is like eating food, where you can't stop it. You have to keep showing to Google. Google wants to know whether this website is adding value on an ongoing basis or has it stopped. So if you stop doing it, Google thinks that, okay, this website is not doing anything more. Should I show this to the next person searching for something or not?
So how much we have to spend on SEO?
So SEO comes in the next package, but I will see and I'll let you know. Maybe I'll so if you don't want the ads and all that, we will see. We will reduce the part which is not required right now, and let you know what it could be. Right, somewhere near to 1.5 2K or something we will do and get it for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
No worries. Okay. Any question from anyone here? I am happy to take any question. Dr. Shivanshu, Dr. Bhaumik, Dr. Anshika, you can also ask any questions if you have. Lata, you can also ask any questions if you have, which may be of help to others who have questions and may not be ready to ask.
No.
Okay, okay, no worries. So I'll just go around the table. If there is no questions, we can wind up for today. Anshika, any questions from you? Or you are there or not there?
No, sir, I'm there.
Okay. Any questions?
No question, sir. क्लिनिक ही नहीं है क्या question?
Okay. Question तो पूछ सकते हो. Concept clarify करने में क्या है?
Sir, बिना क्लिनिक के marketing कर सकते हैं.
Okay, great. Okay, Megha has given her feedback. Dr. Shivanshu, any questions from you, sir? Got everything for now. Can we ask? Can we? You can ask. Yes, you can get in touch with me or Dr. Anshika. Ask any question you may have. Get total clarity, and then you can take the next call. Whatever you want to do. Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Bhaumik. Any points, questions? Some of the things you may have heard, but some things may be new. Anything from you as a feedback or a question? Or if you're in a clinic, I don't think you're in a clinic. I hope you're not in a clinic. Great session. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Maddie. Okay, I would say maybe Bhaumik has gone for a coffee or a water break. I don't know. But let's end on this note, and I will catch up with you guys. Hopefully, we'll be working with each other. Otherwise, all the best. Take care. Bye for now. Take care. Bye. Thanks, guys. Thank you very much. Thanks, Shivanshu.